Hello everyone, this is Super Dimensional Bun. Today I'll be reviewing Bandai's 144 scale HGUC GP01 Zephyrince from the OVA series Gundam 0083. This kit was released in the year 2000 and retails for 1,200 yen. Let's take a closer look at details. Alright, you can see there's quite a bit of details on this kit. Good amount of color. There's essentially 4 colors: red, blue, white, yellow, and gray. As of right now, this kit is 17 years old. It's one of the original HGUC kits. There's number 13 in the line. Okay, let's go ahead and look at its articulation. So, head's connected by a ball joint. So like spin 360. Turn side to side a little bit. And a little bit of a chicken head motion there. Down, up. So not too much up and down motion, but pretty good. Alright, then you got these beam sabers holders. They're connected by little ball sockets. I wouldn't mess with them too much. They're pretty fragile. These beam sabers can come out as well, but you know they're also connected by little, pretty thin pegs, so I wouldn't mess with too much there either. Alright, shoulders can move a little bit. Alright, and then spin 360 there. Okay, the elbows have been 90 degrees. And now it can turn at the elbows, and it can also turn at the biceps as well, but then it's a little more stiff there, so I wouldn't try to force it. Okay, hands are ball joints as well. Okay, so for that, side skirts come out like so. That's right. Let's see how much. Yeah, the arms can only bend out about 90, a little less than 90 degrees actually. Okay, legs can bend outward. Decent amount. Alright, let's put the skirts back down. Front goes a little less than 90 degrees. Part of it's a skirt armor, but I don't know if so you can bend it up a little more. No, it doesn't help. Skirt armor it's pretty small, and I wouldn't recommend splitting it, but yeah, it allows that much to go that high. And let's put it back down. It's a little stiff. Right, backwards and forwards. Okay, and the knees can bend only 90 degrees. Okay, the legs are connected by ball joints. So you can also see some of the details on the feet. Okay, so there's range of motion on the legs. The ankles, so you got these ankle armors. Alright, and then let's get this thing reset. Okay, so you can bend that far back and that far forward. Not too much side to side motion. Better than the non-grade version. Anyway, alright, so that's the articulation for this kit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So you get, first of all, you got the shield. This was molded in 2 colors, just this one gray piece right here for the handle. This is the connector, of course, connected by a polycap. And the shield, which was originally all white. So you can go ahead and pop this in either way here or on the back. So there's a polycap on the back of each forearm. It's pretty standard. You can connect it like so, and holds it pretty well. This handle really is just for aesthetics. You can't really put the hand in the handle, which is kind of weird. So kind of ruins it. You really should be able to put it in, but I don't know. I made it a little too long. Oh yeah, one last thing. The backpack is also connected by a polycap. So there's some details there. I painted these wings white. This is, the back portion of the core fighter. Just connects into the peg, and there's a square fitting in there so then it doesn't jiggle around or twist so much. Alright, so there you go. Alright. Shield, like that. Then you got a beam saber. It's pretty nice. It fits into the hand pretty easily. Now, this is before Bandai started making those beam sabers that are molded with the hand, and bent forward a little bit. Don't really prefer those so much. I kind of like it the way this has it, and so you can kind of twist it on your own. It's pretty long. It's kind of nice. Alright. And then you get this other hand, which has a trigger finger. Now be careful with this when you put it on. It's connected to the back of the palm. But then, I don't know, I've almost broken it. I don't know if you can see the stress mark on it. I think that came off of this machine gun. When I was trying to take it off, the finger got caught in the loop and almost broke it off. So this is one of the weapons that comes with the kit. Now, this is a pretty common machine gun, so this is the one that comes with the high-grade HGUC GM Sniper. Pretty similar there. And then this is the non-grade GM Command from the OVA series Gundam 0080, which I think it originally came from. So this one's a little smaller. And, effectively the same machine gun. Anyway, so I won't put this on now because his hand's so fragile. I don't know if I want to ever do it. But let's go ahead and connect this hand right now. Alright, and then now you got the beam saber, not beam saber, beam rifle. So this is a scope. It can turn a little bit, but it's supposed to stay in a slightly askew position. And you got a handle, the second handle I mean, moves back and forth. And you can see these little beam emitters for defensive purposes, but Bandai didn't provide a piece for that. I guess they figured no one cared about it. So that just slips right into the hand. Alright, so it's pretty decent. Okay. So, pros and cons of this kit. Now, cons? There's not too many. I mean, it's a pretty good kit. It's been redesigned slightly to make it slimmer. If you like the line art better, I mean, if you want this kit to look more like the line art, this is not really the kit for you. There is that real grade version of this kit, which it's bulkier, chubbier, and all that stuff, but it doesn't quite fit the line art as well. But anyway, this is still a pretty decent kit. I mean, that's the only beef I have with the kit. I mean, other than the shield being originally painted white. I don't know if you guys had that experience, but I really had a hard time finding the right color blue. And this was this was my first HGUC kit, so it's pretty old. Another con, I guess, is that there's seam lines right in the middle, the arms and legs. See, Bandai disguised it here in the thighs with a panel line, but there's a line down here. I mean, the knee cover is is another piece, so I'm glad there's no split right there. But there's one right here, and you can see it, maybe see it a little better on the back. So we can see there's a line there and down here, and you obviously see it on the forearm. You can glue it together, but I've never bothered. So seam lines is a little bit irksome. Yeah, beam saber kind of falls out every so often. Now, You could kind of manage to get two arms to hold it. It's a little cumbersome. I don't think I'll try. It's just it's, yeah, it is cumbersome. Anyway, so pros. I mean, this kit's very detailed. It's in a way, it is nice that it's slimmed down a little bit. I mean, you know, if you've seen my last review on the non-grade version, which is this guy right here, you know, bulky, chubby forearms really can't hold anything. I mean, at least in a nice way. Let's see. So this is what you got. If you don't want the real grade version, you got these two options for 144 scale. You get the original version, which, you know, I do not recommend. You know, it stays more true to the line art, but it sacrifices a lot. Anyway, then you got the newer high grade version, which, you know, makes a ton of improvements. Part separations, I mean, it's pretty well done. You can't make a small part for the V here on the chest, so you got to paint that. The greens need painting, and a few spots of gray, and all these black lines. So that's all the painting you would have to do. Yeah, and yellow on the top of the backpack. Oh, and red, of course, and green on the backpack. But yeah, I guess in a way that's a pros. So a lot of pros of this kit. 1,200 yen, not a bad price. You get an extra weapon and a beam saber and a separate hand. That's pretty cool too. You know, little, like I said, there has a nice range of details. So let's go ahead and compare it with, let's say, the Strike Gundam. So you can see, detail-wise, it has a lot more. But it's an older high-grade kit, so its articulation is not as good. I mean, the arms only bend 90 degrees versus, let's say, the Strike, which can bend almost, you know, a lot better. Not 180, but definitely better. Same with the legs. But, let's see. Let's take this guy out and also show you guys the GP02 from the same OVA series. So obviously it's a lot bigger, which was meant to be. Anyway, let's take this guy out because it's kind of ruining it here. And what else? Let's see. Then this is the attachment that goes for action base, and I tried attaching it here, but it really can't do it very well. It won't slip in. The legs are too close together. I mean, you might have to squeeze the legs in a little bit to slightly insert it, but it won't really go in. So, you know, it won't fit with the action base. One thing I kind of forgot to mention was this kit comes with the core fighter. So, all that and a core fighter. It's pretty, I don't know, nicely sized one. I mean, about half the size of the kit itself. There's a good amount of detail on it. There's a little bit of painting that needs to be done, like this little blue spot right here on the gray area of the backpack. The yellow parts of this kit, and we need a black in the windows. But that's it. One thing you gotta be careful is these I would say lasers or beam sabers, because they're both. They can break off pretty easily. I actually broke one. I'm just securing it by putty right now. It's just one little peg, so be careful with that. And you get these landing gears that you can remove, like so. And just take the rest off. I'm guessing these fins can break too, so be careful with that. So we got a nice little core fighter, and that's it. So all that. So final thoughts. I know there's a real great kit out there. It's 2,500 yen. Well, but this one is 1,200 yen. So you save yourself 1,300 yen by just getting this one. It's a very good representation, I think. It's a reimagined version of the kit, of the mole suit. It's pretty nice, you know. I mean, it's well proportioned. It has good articulation. I mean, even though it has a lot of detail, I mean, I have to say that I don't think
a lot of work needs to be done with it to make it look good. The real grade version, it's a little rounder, kind of more in tune with line art itself. But you know, I mean, I'm not willing to spend another 1,300 yen. I mean, I could buy a whole new GP01 for that price, for the extra price. I mean, you know, you get an internal skeleton, you get a heck of a lot more detail, but this one's pretty detailed as it is. Now, having said that, I really wouldn't mind if Bandai did a revived version of this kit. I mean, it's a little dated. I mean, this thing was back in 2000, was made back in 2000. But I mean, even though I'm just a really big fan of Gundam 0083. This was a Shoji Kawamori kit. I generally love his work, but yeah, I mean, I I'd like to see a few things changed. I mean, to make it look a little more like the line art, and a few more mechanical improvements. I mean, I hate seam lines in the middle of like the arms and legs. I mean, they could really stand out, and you know, when you shave it down, or you know, when you cut away from the sprue, it can yellow over time. I can see it a little bit here, but you know, it's kind of hard to see on camera. I mean, you can see it here on the back of the legs. Seams, seams, seams. Yeah. I mean, the front does a good job hiding with these black lines, but yeah, but you know it's there. Anyway, but you know, if you don't feel like waiting for a speculative model kit, you know, that may or may not ever be made, then yeah, pick this one up. 1,200 yen. It's not a bad price. I think it is the very first high grade HGUC Gundam that was made, but it still is really well done. You know. Yeah, so 1,200 yen gets you this fairly detailed kit. So anyway, but yeah, so I think it's a good buy. Long story short. So tune in again next time. I'll see you guys then.